Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel. Today's going to be a little bit of a heart-heavy topic. We are going to be talking about Eugenia Cooney. But before we do that, I would just like to say, disclaimer, this is not meant to be hate in any way. And Eugenia, if you see this video, it is not at all hate. I'm not trying to harass or bully you, and I do not condone that sort of content or those actions by anyone on the internet. Please do not send hate her way. It's the last thing she needs, and she has been suffering, with mental health. And again, bullying is just never the solution. I'd also like to disclaim, I'm not a psychologist, and these are all allegations, my opinion on the situation. I am a nutritionist though, and yeah, I do have a degree in nutrition, and I did have an ED back in the day, so I just personally relate to this story and wanted to share some awareness on it. I'd also like to provide a trigger warning. We will be discussing EDs this entire video for the most part, so please just click off if that's triggering at all. Who is Eugenia Cooney? Eugenia is a YouTuber with 2.1 million subscribers. And she's been on the platform for around 10 years, I believe since 2011. And she started out on YouNow before that, so she's been in the spotlight for a while. I know she also streams on Twitch regularly to her over 100,000 followers. And yeah, she mainly does cosplay, vlogs, makeup tutorials, and gaming, of course, on Twitch. So, from the beginning of her career, it's been clear that she has been suffering with an ED, most likely anorexia, and she is often praised online for her body, and even fans, have been noticed paying her for showing off her body, doing weird acts like moving boxes around where you can see large portions of her arms and legs. And even, body checking content, all that sort of stuff. She's even gone so far as to promote pro-Ana views in her content, allegedly. And so she did take, a 5-month break back in 2019 to recover from her eating disorder and work with a doctor privately. But following that 5-month break, she returned to YouTube with a docu-series on Shane Dawson's channel. And frankly, he exploited her mental illness for views throughout that whole video, and in my opinion, and it was clear that, Shane didn't address the details of her ED, of her recovery, the seriousness of the situation. So the public and medical experts also criticized Dawson for the way he went about making those videos. So now, fast forward to today. It's, 2021. So a few things I've noticed from her fans and the community online. Some think, that she is exploiting her ED and what she looks like for views because, all publicity is good publicity. And it's really a shock factor when you see what she looks like. And often when she's showing off what she looks like, she gets more views on YouTube and on Twitch. So many think that, she's exploiting her situation and she's highly aware of what she's doing. Others believe, her mother is pushing her and exploiting her situation, that her mother is, controlling her and sort of putting her in this state. I won't dive too deeply on that. There's many people that have covered that topic. The final, point of view is people simply think that because of her ED, she is unable to think clearly, which is a common, symptom of EDs. And when you don't have enough food and water and whatnot in your body, it's hard to think clearly, and you're often confused. And she may be perceiving things in a different way than the average person would, not realizing the damage the things she's doing can have and just the reality of the situation. But with her most recent video, titled Addressing the Hate, I felt like it's clear that she is not able to acknowledge the real, reasoning behind the hate or why she's receiving this hate. She either, as we stated before, is not able to clearly view the situation, or she's choosing to purposefully ignore the reasoning behind why she is receiving so much hate. And it's pretty clear, with her attitude of just calling everyone haters, whether it be a fan who's loved her for years and looks up to her, sharing maybe a similar situation they've been in and they're concerned for her, they're a hater. Or, just somebody who has claimed to be, a doctor or a nurse. I've seen that too, or heard her talk about it on her streams. Those people too, they're haters. They're making it up. They're not a doctor. They're not concerned. They're just there to troll her, which is tough, to hear her just lumping all these people and ignoring the real reason these people are concerned for her. And, it's human nature to be concerned for other human beings and to want to help. And I believe all these people, are just reaching out because they genuinely care. And she's a public figure, she's put herself in the spotlight, and they just want to help. No one wants to see her disappear, and frankly, no one wants to see her die. And it's horrible that she can't, see this or acknowledge why people are acting like this. I'd like to, address some of the legitimate reasons, if they're not already clear, of why she is receiving hate. And, number one being that she is obviously suffering from an ED. It is clear in all video footage of her that she is at an abnormally low weight and it's simply not healthy. And, with the majority of her followers being children, it's really tough seeing her, portray this really, really thin person and continuously say to her audience that she doesn't have a problem, that she's healthy, that she's in good health, that she doesn't need to see a doctor, that, all is good with her body and with her body type. And it's not her job to parent the internet, as she likes to coin it. It's no one's job to parent the internet, but when you are an influencer, it's in the title. You have to know that you carry influence and you have power with everything that you say and do. And the majority of her audience is children. They're frankly young. Some of them are, not even 13 yet. They're little kids, and they're seeing her and hearing her say this, and most likely believing her at face value, believing that they too could look like this and that this is a healthy, achievable body type and body image. And it's just sad, and it's really toxic and hurtful to her community. And she's really glorifying, anorexia, pro-Anna, and her ED. And it's really hard because, children don't know better. And it's not her job to parent the internet, but maybe, if she wants to continue with that point of view, maybe she should age restrict her stuff. I strongly believe that would be a happy medium from why she's receiving so much hate, because people are worried of the effects of her views, not just what she looks like, but how she cannot acknowledge her situation or her eating disorder. And it frankly damages all children on the internet who come into contact and don't realize the severity of eating disorders. And that's something I did want to talk about too. Some of the symptoms of eating disorders, and there's a lot, specifically anorexia. I'm only going to address a few, some that I think are the most relevant to this situation. So, decreased bone mineral density, you are going to have a harder time doing everyday things. Your bones will easily break. You just in general be a weaker person. Often people also experience thinning hair. In Eugenia's case, it's kind of interesting. Somebody else pointed this out, but she has gone out of her way to prove that she's not losing her hair and that she has really healthy hair, which I find interesting because that is a really common thing that comes along with anorexia, is really thin hair, wasting away muscles and body fat, because your body will literally be eating itself to, provide it with enough energy to live. You will also have really low blood pressure, which can be really damaging to your heart, of course. You'll have abnormal heart rhythm, and you'll often experience fatigue, confusion, and slowed thinking. And with the neurological symptoms, I wanted to provide a little bit more explanation. So, although the brain weighs only 3 pounds in general, it consumes 1/5 of the body's calories on a daily basis. And when you diet, fast, self-starve, or, eat at erratic amounts, the brain isn't getting enough energy that it needs on a daily basis. And this can lead to difficulty concentrating and confusion. And another aspect of this, the body's neurons require an insulating protective layer of lipids to be able to conduct electricity. And an inadequate fat intake can damage this protective layer, causing numbness and tingling in the hands, feet, and extremities. This has been clipped and seen in some of her videos, which I found really interesting. Also, your neurons use electrolytes and electrical and chemical signals to the brain. And when you have severe dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, this can lead to seizures, muscle cramps, and potentially death. And that's something that is really not highlighted, I feel like, or she brushes over the severity of her condition and the reality of the situation that these young children won't be aware of, is how bad this can be for you, for your health, and for your future. And it's nothing sadder than when somebody loses their life at an early age. And I think everyone in her audience is simply concerned because she's so young. She's 26, and no one wants to see her leave. But yeah, in her most recent video on Twitch, she actually broke down because of the pressure her audience was putting on her to answer questions about her ED, about treatment, about her friends, and about what's been going on. And frankly, it was hard to watch. It made me want to cry. It made me uncomfortable. I do not want to show clips of it because it was heartbreaking, to say the least. Anyone would be cracking under that pressure of everything that's going on in her life. I personally think, a really good thing she could do to lessen all of this intensity would just be to, acknowledge her situation and start promoting recovery, because that's really the only way to go forward, is recovery. And, no one can force you into recovery. Recovery is something that you have to choose for yourself. And with an ED, it's similar to a drug addiction, it's something that you are dealing with on a daily basis and something that you can't force somebody to stop doing. They have to want to stop, they have to want to get help, and they have to want to recover. And, instead of promoting recovery, she is choosing to instead, say, I don't have a problem, it's my life, it's my choice to live the way I live, that I'm not unhealthy, all of these things. I even, in the same video that she broke down, somebody commented and gave her points so that their comment was read aloud, and they basically said, it's her choice, it's your choice, Eugenia, not to want to recover, and that's okay. And I don't know if that's okay, but she definitely agreed with it. And it's hard to hear these things and see somebody suffering, but we all have to know, again, at the end of the day, it's her decision to choose to get help. To close out, here's some other facts, about anorexia and eating disorders that I feel are really important to highlight. So, eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness, period. Between 5 to 20% of the people who suffer from anorexia will, that's a fact, People die with this, and it's not a joke at all. Often is responsible for that percentage of people who's actually 50% of the people who are suffering from anorexia and they take their own life because it's too hard. And so, again, I wanted to address the harassment that she has been receiving, or the way people have been going about their concern. A lot of people are genuinely just concerned, but those of you that are attacking her, saying that she is a danger to society, that she's hurting children, please stop. No one is, telling you to say this. Don't go out of your way to harass and bully somebody that's already in a bad situation and already suffering, because you cannot scare her into recovery. You cannot scare her into doing what you want. She really just has to make that decision for herself. But with that said, I do not blame her fans, the public, people that are concerned for her, because it's human nature to want to help somebody and to see someone suffering and just want to help them. It's really just how the world works, and that's all these people, for the most part, are trying to do. I know that's all I'm trying to do. I just want to help, and I would love to be a friend if I could. I know it's hard when you don't have a lot of people close to you. But yeah, moving forward, I really just think we need to try and share, love, positivity, and aid to all people who are struggling. And hopefully Eugenia will choose recovery, and she'll choose a method of treatment and whatnot that works for her and that she wants to do. And, life will go on, and it will just be great. I really hope she can promote recovery and start to acknowledge that whole situation, because it's really tough on the audience. But yeah, as I said at the beginning, I know this topic was really heavy, and it's just, it was definitely heavy on our hearts. But if you want to see more of my face, definitely join me on my little videos adventure. Hit the big red subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. But yeah, goodbye for now. Whether it's morning, night, afternoon, have a great rest of your day.